Hello, and welcome to Crafting with me and Tracy.
Hi.
Hello. Today we are not crafting, we're actually baking today. We're going to be making these flatbread things. We're learning about the story of Elijah this week, and it's actually interesting to see how many times God provides Elijah with bread and food throughout his different, throughout his ministry. So we're going to be making the bread and explaining a bit about its significance as we make it. So the ingredients you're going to need are extra virgin olive oil. It says whole wheat flour, but I think you can use any kind of flour. You're going to have half a cup of water and some salt, just for a little bit of flavor. So let's begin. So I've pre-measured our flour, but you're going to need to have a cup of flour. There's our flours. So Tracy, if you want to pass out the bags. So you're going to take your cup of flour and you're going to poof it into the bowl. Poof. Okay, now you are going to sprinkle a bit of salt in, just like, do you want to sprinkle this bit? I just did like 3 little shakes. Okay, that's probably enough. You can put more in if you want to. I'm not sure what that'll do to it, but you can try.
I'll start with that.
Okay, and now you're going to take the water. And this part, it's a little bit like you just have to feel it out. So you're going to want to have your nails cut. Are your nails cut? Have you washed your hands?
Yes.
Excellent. So we both washed our hands because we're going to start mushing it around with our fingers. So pour in a little bit at first into the center and move it around in there.
Oh, my water is warm.
Oh, mine's too. Depending on the day, you might need more water. And you can also do this initial process with a fork. But it's kind of fun just to get your hands in there.
I'm done.
Just like that.
We're just pouring it all in. We'll see what happens.
I'm probably going to pour it all in too.
Worse. Oh, yours is really dry compared to mine.
It's because I didn't pour all the water in yet. You poured it all in. So we have extra flour.
I think I need more.
What did you do?
I poured it all in and...
Alright, pour in some of that flour over there. Oh. Our special guest.
Tyler.
How much do you want?
Not all of it.
More. Good.
So you're going to want to be careful with the water and make sure you only pour in a little bit of a time and not do what Tracy did.
Dad, I need more. What consistency is this?
Well,
what consistency?
it should look more like this.
Oh. Okay. A little more. Be good.
You're doing great. Keep going.
Okay, maybe a little more.
I think you need a lot more.
Okay, good.
Do you want to put the olive oil into that one?
Sure.
So you're going to want to measure out 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
Can I wash my hands?
You can wash your hands.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, this is very, this is very wet. Okay, it's almost getting to a point that we can actually, like, knead
Most
it.
of it's off. How much?
2 tablespoons. So 2 of those. Big old yellow spoons.
2 of these?
Yeah.
Okay. I was putting the second one and I'm like, just one?
Okay, now you're going to knead it all in. So that means, like, mix it around and mush it in.
Isn't knead like push and fold and push and
It's
fold?
true. That's the only way that I know how to get it in there.
Okay. Oh wow, this is a lot of oils. like swimming in Mountain Dew.
I'm gonna put the oil into this one and then. So the reason we're using this really simple recipe is in 1 Kings, Elijah asks a widow to make bread for him, and the way she makes it is with oil and flour and water and salt. That's excellent. Oh, it's so squishy. I wonder if we like over...
Is this like no, it says one? Did it mean 2 teaspoons? Because this is...
They said tablespoons, and that's what I did yesterday.
It like...
1 tablespoon. It does squirt.
1 tablespoon. You may want to start with 1, mix it in, then do 2. Unlike how I have done so.
Okay, you probably got it down. I'm just gonna get this in and then we can knead it out.
I'm gonna have the softest hands.
You will, it'll be so oily and soft. Okay, so now we're going to actually knead it. So you're gonna wanna flour down your surface, a very clean surface. I'll flour this down for you. Okay, now you're gonna want to put your bread onto the surface and we're gonna knead it out. And so kneading is mush. Yeah, you mush and fold. And you mush.
Oh wow, this flour is making a difference.
It definitely does. And see, it's okay that it feels a bit slippery because the flour is going to incorporate and you are going to have a bit of a drier dough afterward. We have more flour too that we can put down. Tracey, what do you know about the life of Elijah?
He's in the Bible.
He is in the Bible. Excellent. Do you know when?
It's the Old Testament.
Indeed, it is the Old Testament. Do you know where in the Old Testament?
In the book of Elijah.
And that is
Samuel.
It's very close. Still has to do with kings.
Kings.
Yes, 1 Kings. So Elijah is in 1 Kings, and
there's a book called Kings.
Yeah, 1 and 2 Kings. It tells the chronicles, which is the stories of the kings.
Well, then wouldn't it be called Chronicles?
There are 1 and 2 Chronicles also. Wow. Yeah, so Elijah is in 1 and 2 Kings. Oh, 1 Kings, not 2 Kings. But actually, Chronicles is interesting because it tells a lot of the stories that were told in 1 and 2 Samuel about David and such and the other kings. So it's quite interesting when you read it and see like the parallel accounts or stories, I suppose, of the same kings.
This is feeling much better now.
Good. Yeah, so Elijah was a prophet at the time of King Ahab. Do you know who King Ahab is?
King?
He is a king. Do you think he was evil or good?
I mean, it sounds evil.
That's because you're right. He was a very bad king. And in those times, the prophets were killed because his wife was very evil, and she ordered that all the prophets be killed. So, at the point of the story that we're going to be looking at on Sunday, Jezebel has just told, Elijah has actually killed all the prophets of a false god. And Jezebel's very angry, so she says that she is going to make sure Elijah dies. So Elijah runs away into the wilderness, and he basically asks God to die. Not just basically, but he does.
Wait, he tells God to die, or asks God to tell him to die?
He asks God to let him die, like in Elijah. But instead of, I guess, killing Elijah, God provides for him bread and provisions, and then sends him on a 40-day journey into the wilderness to a mountain. I believe it was Mount Horeb. Yeah, where God tells him to go. It was the Mount of God. And so God said that he would meet with him there. And there's a fire, and there's an earthquake, and there's strong winds. But when God actually comes, he's in a whisper. And so he's not in any of the chaos or the crazy things that you would expect God to be in. But he's in that soft voice that tells Elijah to trust in him, that he has saved people who are still following him in Israel, and to go back to Ahab and Jezebel. So this bread sort of in that memory of how God calms us and takes care of us in our fears. God could have listened to Elijah and he could have struck him dead right there, but instead he has grace and compassion on him and sees his struggle and he provides for him. So
I see.
Yeah.
Question.
We're ready to roll.
How did they cook it?
How did they cook it? They cooked it over fire, but we're cooking it in an oven because we have no fire here.
Okay.
So we're gonna, I guess,
Do you want to roll first, or do you want me to roll?
put like a little bit of flour down. Not a lot because we've got a lot of flour in here. And then you can flour the rolling pin a little bit. Do you want to roll first?
Sure.
Do you know how to roll?
I do.
Excellent.
Hopefully.
All right. So you're gonna want to roll, and you're gonna want to make it thin but not too thin, which is a very arbitrary number. Arbitrary means just not helpful. You're doing excellent.
This rolling pin is not the best.
Let's put a bit more flour on the rolling pin.
I have wrinkly bread.
You do have wrinkly bread. It's like an old man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that.
Well, I did flip it over, so
Excellent. Look at that.
that works much better.
Yeah. Sometimes your rolling pin just needs to have some flour on it, so the bread doesn't stick.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just watching you. I got distracted. I was thinking about Elijah. That sounds weird, but I was thinking about the story. If you have an area that's a bit thicker, you can just go over that area and thin it out. And it doesn't even have to be like any kind of shape.
Can I flip it?
Yeah.
Make sure, you don't have to, but I suggest rolling one way and then the other way so that it's not a line.
Yeah, that feels like almost good. Do you want to see if there's any other thick areas and then just roll those out?
Sure.
Okay, I guess I will tackle mine then.
Feels good. Okay.
Alright, now when I made mine, I actually cut mine in half so it would cook a little bit evener. Do you want to get a knife? Perfect. And now I just sort of I'll cut it somewhere random, sort of in half.
Can we cut it in fun shapes?
You may.
Make sure not to cut your counter.
Indeed.
Or table or wherever you're making this bread.
Yes, so it's best that you don't use too sharp of a knife. You're drawing a face in it?
I'm making a T.
For Tracey?
T-Racy.
Oh. I didn't even try and make I'm gonna make a J.
4?
Oh, jeez. Not for Jaclyn. I didn't actually try and bake with shapes. This will be interesting.
I don't see the J.
That's fine. It's
Oh, is it this?
yeah.
Okay, I was like...
It's more abstract. Alright, so once you've got your bread ready to go, and for best results I would just recommend cutting it in half, but we're going to see what happens when we cut it into fancy shapes. And you can always cut it later too. We're going to lift
I'll put mine on this.
the bread onto our cookie sheet that has parchment paper on it. And these don't expand in the oven, so you can put them pretty close to each other. All right, and now you're gonna put it into your preheated oven at 350 degrees. Yep. For about 20 minutes. Excellent, and now we wait. All right, so in the time that you're waiting is usually a good time to start cleaning up your things. Yeah, it's just a nice way to use that time.
Night, let your love be the shining light, breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your sun down and set me free.
Hi, welcome back.
We're just waiting for our oven to go off. It should go off in about maybe 20 seconds or something. And then we'll see how the bread has turned out. There are no windows on this oven, so we really don't know what it looks like at this point. But it does smell good. It's finished!
Done.
Alright. Put on your oven mitts because the pan will be hot. Ooh! Whoa!
Whoa.
It does look like
that?
bread.
Because it's stainless steel, we can put this right on here as my dad has told me.
And if it's done, you'll want to turn the oven off.
Don't touch this. Just burn it. And put stuff underneath so it doesn't burn your counter off. Unless it is stainless steel.
Yep.
Like so.
You want to let it rest for a couple minutes until it's cooled off so you don't burn your tongue as well when you try it. And you can definitely try it plain. We recommend putting honey or jam on it.
Because it's bland.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a blander bread. It's quite a bland bread, but it's kind of fun. It's very easy to make, and it's fun to knead it around. And it does actually taste quite nice with jam and honey. Ah, yes, plates. Let's move this aside. It's very hot, though. Ooh.
Here are some toppings we have. We have Billy Bee honey.
Ah, excellent. The good old Billy Bee.
Strawberry jam.
Ah, confiture de fraise.
We have the raspberry.
Mm.
There's no French version.
It's pure.
Ooh, no, that's the company thing.
It's pure.
Smucker. Anyway, Smucker's blackberry jam.
Oh, wow.
Another thing of Smucker's pure blackberry jam. Oh, confit de meruz.
Confiture de Maurice.
Here we have 100% maple syrup from Superstore.
Wow.
And last but not least, the most delicious gourmet chicken and rib barbecue sauce.
That's the one Tracey's gonna have.
Anyway, these are the toppings we have. Feel free to use whatever you want to use.
Do you want to put something on it?
Yes. Alright, can I have the honey?
It is still quite hot, but it's not like too hot. Don't you want the barbecue sauce?
Do you want the barbecue sauce?
Why don't we both do it together?
I prefer not to.
Alright, you can have the honey.
And don't touch your pan because that would really hurt. And if you do, run it in cold water or whatever you do.
Yes, that is how you fix burns. Or just help them hurt less.
Ice pack.
Alright,
Cheers.
cheers!
It's very crunchy.
It's a bit crunchy.
The honey's good.
I want to try it plain. It's actually quite nice. Enjoy the bread that you've made. Enjoy making it, because it's quite a fun thing to make. And remember that our God is the God who provides and cares for us. And even when we think that we can't go on, come to Him in prayer and ask Him for His help. And, I mean, He helps you. He helps all of us. So, enjoy.
And cheers!